Hello guys, how you doing out there? It is Joe and Darren over at Urban Hillsides Real Estate's Real Estate Reality. Thanks for joining us once again. Thursday, it's 2 p.m. And over the course of an hour or less, right Darren, we will talk about the latest listings, whether they're sold in the last 7 days, actives in the last 7 days. We'll look at pendings, we'll look at mortgage rates, and our subject today is about the mansion tax, which you may or may not have heard of. But we're going to talk about creative marketing and creative hacks for the 1% to get out of this. So, interesting LA Times article. And before I get too far, let me do our disclaimer. Darren Hubert and Joe Cloninger are real estate agents at Avenue 8 under the Urban Hillsides brand. All opinions expressed by Urban Hillsides or guests on this video are solely their opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Avenue 8. You should not treat any opinion expressed by Urban Hillsides as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or follow a particular strategy, but only as an expression of Urban Hillsides team's opinions. All right. How you doing, man? It's been a busy week.
It has been a busy week. Busy couple weeks. Preparation. Couple closings. Good. It's great to see the sun out. Yeah. And real estate is finding its legs again. It's just been a volatile monster, for quite some time now. But still trying to find its footing. And this is why, I think our weekly reports are just more important all the time.
Yeah. It's funny, I was thinking earlier as we were prepping for this, I was like, gosh, we didn't worry about mortgage rate reports before, but surely enough, every week we're looking at it now.
Well, totally. And like this week's an example of it's not dramatic. So if we have a couple weeks of non-dramatic movements, lack of volatility, then we'll move on to other priority components.
I would like to do that for sure.
Yes, sure.
Okay. Well, look, let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see here. Share screen. There it is. One thing I wanted to first start off with, Darren, was congratulations to our clients, Jen and Brian. They were able to purchase a really nice house up in Glendale, and it's quite a change for them. But I think they're on lawn chairs and maybe a ping pong table. But congrats to them right now. They're in transition, aren't they?
Yeah. There's a bigger plan there, and the sacrifice is worth it.
Yeah. We'll see them a year from now. They won't be on lawn chairs for sure.
They will not.
All right. Well, look, and then, what I wanted to also kick off with is that we have 2 new active listings and we have some open houses planned. You may have seen it in the email that we put out right before this. But do you want to talk about Benton Way first, Darren? And I'll go through the photos.
Absolutely. I think I would venture to say almost as good as it gets for a small lot. It's a very small complex. It's a front unit. It has 3 fantastic walls of light, floor-to-ceiling windows. And not only was it built as recent as 2018, but had a major overhaul with very nice designer touches throughout. And it really shows when you're in the space.
I have to say, I looked at the old listing. You may have done that as well, and you can really see the difference. It's a big difference compared to the past. Yeah. And then, we have an open today, 5 to 7, if you'd like to drop in. And then we'll also have one on Sunday, 2 to 5, and then Tuesday, 11 to 2. So please join us, even just to say hello. All right? Oh, Brian says he'll be there. Awesome. Let me go ahead and let's talk about Lincoln Heights. I put historic home plus income, investment income.
It's a beautiful space. There's the home right there in the front in that first photo with the duplex in the back. The front has its own dedicated outdoor space. The parking is dedicated for the front house, which will be delivered vacant. And then the back, side-by-side duplex with their own yards in the back as well. The front house, the flow is nice. The character is lovely. Yeah. It needs a little bit of exterior work, but I think the interior is in good shape. And it's a great price for a house of that stature and size, and the income that you'll generate in the back. I think to the left and right are both very good examples of neighborhood and the upgrades. The neighbor to the left is an architect who moved in and remodeled his space, and so it's an ever-changing neighborhood and close proximity to Broadway, which is got some elements of Highland Park with lots of true commercial walkability and continually evolving. I could see that being maybe the most likely next Highland Park vibe. Because just all the commercial is active and there already.
Right. And you're so close to downtown, but not being in downtown.
Right.
So I think you're right. It definitely could be the next place in terms of the next hype neighborhood. Let's go ahead and move on to the mortgagenewsdaily.com and just kind of kicking off our market snapshot. And, for the most part, I'll just enlarge this a bit. It's kind of slid down a little. It's kind of gone sideways. It hasn't done much. Although you did notice one thing, right?
Sure. Well, we're off the peak. You can just see in the graph there, even from that pullback. We were over 7. We were at and over 7. So this week is stabilized. We've got jumbo rates are flat, no change week over week, coming in at under 6%, very high fives. And the regular rates are coming in around 6.5. Obviously this is generality, and you should speak with each individual lender to see what they're offering, but this gives us a baseline to work from. So, less exciting this week, and we're okay with less exciting when it comes to rates. We hope it stays there. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. So, as you said, the rates so far here, 30-year fixed, 6.59, 15-year fixed, 6, 30-year jumbo, 5.95, 5-1 ARM, 6.62, 30-year FHA, 6.05, and 30-year VA, 6.12. I look down here for the trend, and as you said, kind of no news is good news for us, right? And there is the trend right there in the middle, and that's A-OK. Right? That's
perfectly fine. I will say, I look, a lot of the lenders we work with are very creative, but it's one of the nice things I had seen was convincing someone to actually take a larger loan to get down to that jumbo rate. Worked in their favor to put less money down to get a better rate. And I know at least Wells Fargo, I don't know about other banks, but at least Wells Fargo allowed you to pay down a chunk of that right away and reduce your monthly payment, which I had never heard of before.
Wow.
Usually it's fine. They'll let you pay down whatever you want, but your payment stays the same. It'll just won't be for as long of a period. It'll be paid off sooner, but to actually reduce the rate with a big buy down. So consider that if you're out there in the market, you can get a half point lower by putting less down. And maybe your lender will allow you to then pay it down and get a lower monthly mortgage payment.
All right. I like ending that way. That's good. Okay. Let's move on now to our subject. Let's see. Boom. Creative Mansion hacks. Bear with me here. So this comes to us from LA Times. It was a very popular article the last couple days because there is a deadline, and it kind of says it here in the In the title, free McLaren or Bentley, sellers get creative to close deals before mansion tax kicks in. So let me read a little bit of this and we can stop as we go. As you can see here, number of cars to choose from. This 16.5 million mansion comes with any of the cars in the photo, as long as a buyer can close this deal before April 1st. So right now there's a mansion on the market in Beverly Crest. Buy it in the next few days and you'll get a free McLaren or an Aston Martin or a Bentley. Act fast. If you wait too long, you'll get nothing. It's one of the many time-sensitive deals available right now in LA's luxury real estate market, which has been scrambling since voters passed Measure ULA in November. The bill, dubbed as a mansion tax, will bring a one-time transfer tax to high-end property sales, including a 4% tax on sales above $5 million and a 5.5% tax on sales above $10 million. Designed to fund homelessness prevention and affordable housing construction, it kicks in April 1st. And many of those who would be affected have spent the last 4 months devising ways to get out of it. Some have suggested schemes to shirk the tax, such as dividing properties to get them under the $5 million price point. Attorneys and law firms have flooded the inboxes of real estate agents offering their services in finding such solutions. Others in the industry have tried to stop the measure from happening altogether, suing on the grounds that it violates the California Constitution. Now, in the waning days before the bill takes effect, homeowners and agents are sweetening the pot to sell homes before April 1st. If necessity is the mother of invention, the necessity here is selling a house to avoid a hefty tax bill, and the invention is throwing in a luxury car as a cherry on top. So let's see here. One $16.5 million listing is offering the buyer their choice of an Aston Martin Vantage, an Aston Martin DBX 707, McLaren GT, or Bentley Bentayga EWB if they pay the full price and close escrow before April 1st. We wanted to come up with the marketing strategy that would make sense with the house, which has this amazing 1,300 square foot underground car gallery, so the buyer can choose one of these cars to put in the gallery, said Tatiana Deravanassian, the agent with Dream Living LA who holds the listing. You get a house and a car. It's a 1-2 punch. But buyer beware, if you can't close the deal before Measure ULA kicks in, the cars are off the table. Other listings appeal to buyers' agents, offering more commission if they can convince their clients to buy before the deadline. In Bel Air, a $28 million mansion owned by celebrity plastic surgeon and botched star Paul Nassif is offering a $1 million bonus to whichever agent can bring a buyer who closes escrow before April 1st. The math makes sense. Under ULA, Nassif would have to pay a $1.54 million transfer tax. So if he can pay an agent $1 million to convince their buyer to close before April 1, he'll save $500,000. Josh Altman of Douglas Elliman, who's co-listing the property, said he's negotiated everything into deals before. Cars, boats, vacation rentals, paid staff for a year. He brokered one deal that included a clause where the seller could come back and use the house for 1 month every year. But the broker bonus is a first, and he said it's been successful so far. We've been showing it 8 to 10 times per week. Oops. By far the most of any listing we have in this price range, he said. We're negotiating 2 offers right now and have had multiple offers since. One listing in Pacific Palisades is opting for a potentially sneaky route. In the fine print only visible to agents, not buyers, on the multiple listing service website, it promises a bump from 2.5% commission to 4% for the buyer's agent if they can get their client to close before April 1st. It's a horrible look for our industry, said Anthony Margulis of Amalfi Estates. What type of agent would force their client to buy something to make more money, even if it's not the right property for them? I think he's blowing that up a little. But anyway, listing notes on sites such as Zillow or Redfin are typically used to sing the praises of the property, boasting about scenic views, unique designs, or luxury amenities. But these days, many reference Measure ULA. Due to the upcoming ULA tax starting April 1st, get a $400K deduction from seller if you close escrow by March 31st. Reads a listing for an $8.25 million modern farmhouse in Pacific Palisades. Another listing features a more direct tone in caps. Reduced purchase price of $20,995,000. This is an amazing opportunity for a buyer who can close prior to April 1st. Post April 1st, the purchase price will revert back to $21,995,000. A lot of this is just marketing hoopla, said Billy Rose of the agency. Rose recently trimmed the price of a penthouse from $75 million to $50 million, but said the price cut wasn't due to measure ULA. Instead, he noted that buyer demand has diminished for a number of reasons. Industry experts generally agree that LA's luxury market has slowed down this year, and the data agrees. So far in 2023, there have been 70 sales above $5 million and 22 above $10 million in the city of LA, compared with 78 above $5 million and 26 above $10 million during the same stretch in 2022. But that hasn't stopped sellers from putting their homes on the market anyway in hopes of closing a deal before April 1st. This year, there have been 231 new listings above $5 million and 276 properties with reduced prices. In the same stretch last year, there were just 130 new listings above $5 million and 154 reductions. I'll do anything to sell, said the owner of one home in Brentwood who wished to remain anonymous to not affect a potential sale. This market is a mess. So yeah, definitely the luxury market is not doing so good. But anyway, this thing goes on and on and on.
It does. I think we're good there.
Yeah. Oh, well, I just want, because I know you love Marky Mark.
Yeah, sure. He was there.
So Mark Wahlberg avoided a $3.025 million tax by selling his Beverly Park mega mansion before April 1st. Look at that.
Yeah, and he moved to Nevada.
Yes, to really save money. Yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So what's the moral of the story here, man? What are your comments?
Well, I guess measure ULA, I do have an issue. The first off, for those of you that don't know, there is already a tax on every sale in Los Angeles. It's about 0.5%. It's $4.50 per $1,000 of purchase price. It happens on every sale. It always has, as long as I've been in the business. So that doesn't go away, as far as I know. This is added on top of that. If we sold more $5 to $10 million plus houses, I have all the details in front of me. But I don't. Pretty sure it's still, they both apply. This is a separate tax. My issue with ULA is that, gosh, imagine you bought the house for, 4.5 million, and now it's worth 5.2 million.
Yeah.
You're going to pay 4% tax, not based on profit, but based on exchanging that home. And I think that's inappropriate. I think it should have been, think it should have been on the profit. And that's fine. I agree. There's a lot more money at the top. And
it would have been fair. It would have been fair.
It would have been more fair, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then the second component of ULA just comes down to what is the city actually going to do with the money. And gosh, I certainly find myself moving towards one camp pretty quickly. It's going towards affordable housing, but yet the first step the city has taken with that money in mind, which is already a submitted proposal and under review, is to pay for attorneys for all tenants. That's the first thing they've done. And I would say AGLA probably came up with the best argument for me. The cost of housing that the city pays for this affordable housing is off the charts. Yeah, I did a very napkin statistic thing, and they could probably pay for somebody's rent for 30 years, and the cost what's going to cost them to build 1 unit per person. Just give the money to the person to pay for their rent directly, rather than going out and building. It would make so much more sense. And now, in addition to that, they're going to, rather than, again, if not all, and probably not all, but the majority of evictions are going to be based on non-payment of rent. So now, instead of reimbursing that tenant the money to let them stay in their place and not get evicted, they are going to pay for an attorney. So, and that attorney is going to cost probably a year's worth of rental income to keep that. It makes no sense. So I have a harder and harder time every day to hand my money over to irrational politicians and how they utilize this money.
Well, go ahead. No, I was going to say, the string of comments here, I looked at this a couple of days ago as a couple, but now it goes on and on and on. So you're not alone in your opinion, I'm sure.
I completely...
Between mismanagement of the city in terms of previous programs and, like you're saying, ultimately attorneys winning no matter what.
Yeah, I support helping people. The one argument in there was, in that article we just wrapped up, was from an Occidental professor who helped put this together. And, it's the typical argument of, gosh, of course, rich people should willingly pay to help support homeless people get off the streets. But it's not that simple. That's just so lame. That comment is so lame because it's nowhere near that simple. Wealthier people should pay a little more to help create stability because the system has given them many more opportunities often. But what's done with that is also relevant, So there you go. I support the concept of ULA. I don't support the system in which it was created and where the money's going to go and what they do with it.
I want you to know, as we were doing this, I already got a message from a client saying, hey, I didn't get my Bentley. So I guess we're going to have to come up with like a scooter or something for our price range.
Maybe that was the one that said the agent gets the Bentley if they sell it rather than the client. It was a different house, man.
Okay, all right. Let's use that.
Sure.
All right. Well, great. That was a good one. Let's move on now to solds, and we always kick it off with. Let's see here. There we go. Oh, where am I? Oh, not that one. This one. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so just looking at our micro market, this is Northeast Los Angeles, solds in the last 7 days and also actives in the last 7 days. And we're starting to look at pendings as well now. We'll just go through this a bit. Hold on. There we go. So in terms of solds total, there were a total of 8 in the last 7 days.
Single digits, man.
Yeah. In terms of days on market, it's actually gotten lower. It went to 9 days. Typically, it's been in this 11 to 14 day zone. We're now at 9 days on the market. That's a median. And then pendings, 21 in the last 7 days. Last week, it was 23. And then before that, 15, 11, and 20. So I don't know if that's telling us anything, but it's kind of stabilizing a bit. And then in terms of price increases, you can see here the median, it was 110% of the list price. So still a very strong market. Last week it was 11% above list price. So what else? Anything else you've noticed over the last week, Darren?
I think an even deeper. The wedge is driving a little deeper from a perspective that those houses that present well, show well, are just flying off the chart. They're selling fast. And we recently had a closing because we went in on day one and got an acceptance before they even had an open house. And those things are happening. And we saw one around the corner from our current listing that sold at a crazy price, which will show. But those that aren't exciting, that don't present well, man, they're lingering.
Yeah,
I must say.
You're reminding me. So at Avenue 8 we have a sales meeting that starts off the week, and that was kind of the general consensus from everyone is that opens are busier and multiple offers are more the norm now. Again, it's got to be a good home, but multiple offers. So there you go. All right, well, let's look at some of these. So we put the first ones in the seller win category. Darren, you and I know the street pretty well. I'm sure we've knocked on this door. Let me get organized here. So this is 4322 Palmero Drive. Started at a list price of $1,350,000 and landed at a sales price of $1,717,000 for a $367,000 increase. That's 127% of its list price, and took 8 days on the market to sell. So let's go ahead and check it out. For me, Darren, this was really nice looking house, no doubt. But somebody fell hard for this house. I was really kind of surprised by that price. But
Well, this is not far off from the house we sold on Palmero.
Right.
Square footage wise, a lot of the houses on this stretch, Palmero's not that long of a street, are mid-century, and they look very simple from the front, but they open up in the back and they have really nice views, as this one does. From inside out towards the back is the sale of the house. And you're right, though, the price on this street just continues to rise. If we showed this one to the person that we sold the other one from, they would be disappointed that they sold. But
I'm reading my notes. I just put, very nice house, but don't get the price at all. Overpaid. And this was, once again, me looking at trying to find a little through line. I put out of area, Beverly Hills agent, and more than likely buyer, right? So that's what drives some of these prices up.
We are seeing more of that out of area buyers. More and more of that. I mean, look, the reality is even our recent buy is a more common scenario. When prices have been up for so long, what happens is people give up on the area, their primary area. And they sit there and they say, wow, I can get so much more house in this area. And that's not the typical local buyer. And somebody coming from Beverly Hills, they're like, are you kidding me? I can get all this house for $1.7 million? I'll take it.
Yeah. All right, so the next one is 929 Oban Drive. This started at a price of, excuse me here, guys, $1,375,000. Landed at $1,614,000. Here, let me get this right in. And that was a $239,000 increase, 117% of the list price. 7 days on the market to sell. And this one I felt was a little bit more justified.
Yeah.
I put views, once again, like you said, that definitely sells a place. That deck certainly is a big deal. Again, Beverly Hills agents and probably buyers. West side.
So, I mean, this one's $100K less, and it's 400 square feet larger.
Right.
And very close to the one on Palmero, not far at all. So, this makes more sense price-wise to me as well.
Yeah. Cool. All right, let's move on. We're going to go to, this one. 886 North Lafayette Park Place. I just walked by there. This started at $2,995,000 list, landed at $3,225,000 sold. $230,000 increase, 108% of its list price. 12 days on the market. Let's take a look. Okay. Now I forget. Did you go see this one, or were we going to show it to somebody?
It showed as an open house, and then they canceled the open house.
Right.
Showed up, and it was canceled because they had accepted an offer.
So let me just go through the stats here. I forgot the last couple. 886 North Lafayette Park Place. This is Silver Lake, 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 2,690 square feet of living space. Sold at $3,225,000. Good sized lot, almost 10,000 square foot lot. 12 days on the market, and this is brought to us by Justin Freeling and Rob Kallick, representing the seller, and on the buy side, Brandon Sanford and Aaron Kerman. Where
are those agents from?
The West Side, once again, yes.
Yeah. This one I could only say would have to be an out-of-area agent. I just that price does not make sense to me because that section of Lafayette is basically on Sunset.
Yeah.
It's visible. You hear the noise from Sunset. Everything is there. Now the house looks fantastic. $3 million was pushing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then to sell over. I mean, congrats to the seller on this one. Yeah. It's a high price.
Done. All right. All right. So now we're going to go to buyer wins, at least according to the numbers. We're going to go to 1409 West Avenue 43. Hold on here. And let's see. Oh, sorry. Okay. This started at $849,000, very reasonable. Landed at $948,172 for just a $99,172 increase, 112% of list price. And here, let's take a look.
So we saw this listing together.
Yep. Yep.
Well, I had a client who he wanted to submit an offer. I don't think he would have gone up to that price.
No.
So,
that was what I was thinking too. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you know, it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It's 878 square feet of living space, 5,500 square foot lot. It says here 16 days on the market. This is brought to us by Austin Vaccaro, and on the buy side, Steve Hostler. Yeah, you know, we had some plans that I think could have made sense to make this a larger space for his needs. But yeah, I think that $950 and change was a little too high. But
yep.
It's a nice house. Nice house. Okay, let's move on to, let's see here. We're going to go to, this is a nice street name, 967 North Starlight Court. So this started at $1,475,000 and it finished at $1,475,000, 100% of list price. And let me see if I can get over there. Let's see. All right. So, you know, Darren, this is a small lot in what I call Virgil Village, but
yep.
You know how marketing can get.
Sure, they call this Silver Lake.
Well, yeah, I think they did even better. Let me just see if I can do this. Hold on. I erased it. Hold on. No, the name of the development is Willow Brick at Sunset Junction.
Sunset Junction.
I know, right? They were really stretching. So 967 North Starlight Court. This is Virgil Village. 3-bedroom, 4-bath, 2,130 square feet of living space. And sold again, $1,475,000. HOA 173. 1 day on the market. So it sounds like they had it already sold. And brought to us by Michael Drucker, Courtney Picard, and Joe Reichling for the seller. And on the buy side, Kevin Brennan and Kurt Wisner. So congrats to everyone there. But yeah, bit of a stretch, but there you go. And I looked at it, Darren, and it does not look like ours, so that's good. 1406. You know, there've been I don't know, we haven't talked about this, but there have been a number of small lots that have come up in the last week. So I think we're still priced pretty good based on the others. So this is 1406 Prism Drive. This is $1,050,000, and it landed at $1,008,000 for its sold price. $42,000 reduction, the only reduction this week. 96% of the list price, and yeah, it's kind of just it's an older small lot, not as slick as some of these new guys. That was one of my notes here. 70 days on the market to sell. So I wrote older small lot, standard, not staged, limited outdoor space to a driveway, but a good price, I thought. Still a good price.
Yeah, it's lower grade finishes on these units. I remember we've showed these units a couple times. Yeah, and I don't think it's an end unit.
No, no, it's up towards the front.
Yeah, so it is what it is.
Yep. I mean, look, it's a 3-bedroom, 4-bath, 1,700 square feet. That looks pretty nice to a lot of people. $70 HOA. That's really good. This was, to give credit where credit is due, on the seller side, Jillian Pidlawan and Tracy Doe, and on the buy side, Nicole Kilmer. So congrats to them. Off we go. All right. Well, I am done with my part of it. I think we can just move on. Let's see here. Let's see. Boom, boom. Okay, so we're up to new listings. Listings that Darren feels are noteworthy that came up in the last 7 days. Darren, where do you want to start?
2342 Bullard Avenue.
Is that Bullard?
Yep.
All right, there it is. Okay. Okay. And let's see here. So this is 2342 Bullard Avenue. This is El Sereno. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,898 square feet of living space for a good price, $830,000. It's on a 7,784 square foot lot. And let's see, how long has it been on the market? Just 7 days on the market. And this is brought to us by Sasha Anthom Kuzemka and Elisa Ritt and Sherry Rogers. So congrats to them. What do you think, man?
Oh, this is the deal of the week. Look, very, very occupied. It's a little busy, but it's got some nice flow, pretty open floor plan, big kitchen, nice views, a lot of square footage. It's El Sereno, but even El Sereno, this seems well priced to me. Maybe it doesn't have the best curb appeal. It's got some bars in the front. It's got looks like all concrete in the front. Definitely, they put a little more energy into the house than they did in the front. But good price.
Yeah, really good price. Wow, that's a good one. It looks like they kind of started on the inside and then they stopped. Something happened.
Yeah.
Okay, what's another one?
We showed this one, 2157 Park Drive.
Oh boy.
I'm surprised it's still up here.
I think tomorrow's the day.
Yeah, you better run there quickly, yes.
All right. Let me get this slideshow started. This is 2157 Park Drive. This is Echo Park. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,352 square feet of living space. This is listing at $1,650,000. It's on a 5,365 square foot lot. Days on market 6. And let's see here, brought to us by Lisa Paperno and Joshua Gagne. So congrats to them on a really good looking listing. What do you have to say, man?
Oh, it's a refreshing space. It's light and bright. Lots of windows. The view out towards the back, towards the Chinese elm tree, and the huge deck. It's a smaller house for that street. A lot of those houses are larger. The higher you get on that street, you have long views all the way to the beach, out through downtown. It's amazing. But this isn't that. It's single story. But you're across the street from Elysian Park. It's a great house. Properties don't come up on this street in this price range very often, particularly finished properties as this is. So it will have multiple offers. It will go up in price. Where it will land, I don't know. My belief is probably closer to 2. Maybe it'll tip the scale over 2. So this may be at the top of our list in future weeks reporting.
Yeah. Cool. All right. What else out there, man?
This one I'm going to call out because I just can't believe the price. 2512 Berkeley Avenue. Now, Berkeley, if you remember, Joe, is basically cuts through Glendale Boulevard. It's right near the Glendale Alvarado split. It's perpendicular to those streets. Goes up above, connects at Benton. $4.5 million. It's a huge house, but the price, I don't know what's.
Yeah. Well, 2512 Berkeley Avenue. It's Echo Park. 8 bedrooms, 8 baths, 5,924 square feet. Darren, wow.
I know.
4,489,000 is the list. It's in a 6,700 square foot lot. 3 days on the market, and this is brought to us by Alexander Trevino, you rascal. Wow. Well, what's the description say here? How do you get 8 bedrooms going? 2512 and 2514 Berkeley Avenue are the first of their kind in this coveted pocket of Silver Lake. These 2 contemporary gyms highlight key essentials of turnkey modern architecture with no expense spared. Okay. So it's a duplex. Let's see here. 4 bedroom, 4 baths, over 2,750 square feet of living space each. And wow, man. I don't know. I guess you do the math, you split it up, and maybe it makes sense. But I don't know.
Well, I mean, it is a duplex for $4.5 million, which is 2.25 for each unit. Mm-hmm. Detached. 27, almost 3,000 square feet each. I don't know. This would be a new record.
Yes.
In the neighborhood, absolutely. Like by far.
Yeah.
So it'll be an interesting one to watch, and that's why I call it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Good one.
Cool. I have one more. Other than we have our 2 listings that are also new in our area, in our neighborhoods that you mentioned in the beginning, on Benton Way and on Griffin. I want to point that out again. And then the last one, Joe, is one that was developed, and you should recognize this, 2712 Lytle Place.
Yes, I did see that one. Yeah.
Yeah, so we sold this as a project. The neighbor has a brother who's an architect who we've known for a long time. They did a conceptual drawing. They owned the lot. They sold the land with a project many years ago. Gosh, maybe it's been 4 or 5 years now.
Could be
quite some time. Yeah. So here it is. Got built. Not exactly to the plans he laid out, but it went in that direction.
Right. Well, let me go through the numbers. 2712 Lytle Place. This is Eagle Rock, 3 bedroom, 3 bath, 2,160 square feet of living space. 1,999,000 is the list. 6,000 square foot lot. Does have opens, I believe, Sunday and then Tuesday. Sunday 2 to 5, and then on Tuesday 11 to 2. 1 day on the market so far, and this is brought to us by Michael Wu. So congrats to Michael. I looked at the pictures already. What did you think of the price, to the area? Are they?
Oh, I think the price makes sense. It does.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen some slightly different finishes, but the price and the layout and the house for what it is a brand new construction, ground up. I think it's appropriately priced.
Yeah. I felt like the backyard was kind of an afterthought. I know it's not a big space, but they've got like one door going out to it. It's just kind of blah. I don't know. They could have done a little better on that backyard. But
I remember that it was actually a really important feature of the original design was the indoor-outdoor flow. Yeah. And I think they've altered that, and they actually shifted a larger patio towards the front, which was disappointing. I'd rather hang out in the backyard on a larger patio than in the front.
I'm trying to remember, in the original design, was the yard even on the side, or no? It was in the back.
It was in the back. Yeah.
It was in the back. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, another interesting one to watch as things develop. I'm sure our client is relieved that it's all done.
Yeah, it was a process. The construction. Yeah.
All right. Well, there we go. So as we close out, Darren, do you have anything more to say? Anything that would help our people and us this week? Come to our opens.
Yeah, it was interesting. I would say one of the articles we considered for today was a Schiller market report, and
that's good. Yeah.
My comment in regards to that is, even though the numbers don't always make sense, and I get it, I used to try to predict the future of real estate, and that was very much my connection. And I moved out of that realm to evaluate the variables that might impact it. But so often, in the case of Schiller, he's, being more of the pessimist. And, so many people have not bought a house because of that. And we might be in a volatile time. And we are. There's a lot going on. But, man, if it makes sense for you to get into a house and it's a long term, at least you got to be out there. We've had buyers that are out there and engaged, truly trying, and they haven't found the right thing, and I get it. And that moment might come where it'll happen for them. But just sitting on the sidelines, I don't think does you any good if you're thinking about buying. So that's my comment for the day.
Yeah. We've said it in different words, but I think it still remains, as you're saying. It's like, you have to have a balance of your own market and where you are, and look at, obviously, other things in the market. But, yeah, it's about you. At least half of this or more is about you and know where you are.
And I guess in looking back, my one comment in relation to that, because I've been doing this for 20 years, and I lived through the Great Recession, and there are people that lost their houses during that time. But those who were able to hang on to their houses, who went through the worst downturn in our lifetime for housing, are well ahead of the curve.
Right.
5-10 years later, well ahead of the curve. They've recovered and made all of that back. So if housing is a long-term, to push the numbers so far that you're on the edge to start with, that's risky. I get that. That might be too much. But if you have stability and just trying to catch lightning in a bottle on the timing of it all, it doesn't always make sense. And for the long haul, if it makes sense to buy, then consider doing it.
Cool. All right. Good stuff. I like that ending. Guys, we'll see you later. Come to our opens this week and weekend, and just have a great week. Take care. Bye now.
Bye.
See ya.